The Spirit and Influence of Vedanta, delivered at the 20th Century Club, Boston. Before going into the subject of this afternoon, will you allow me to say a few words of thanks now that I have the opportunity? I have lived 3 years amongst you. I have traveled over nearly the whole of America, and as I am going back from here to my own country, it is right that I should take this opportunity of expressing my gratitude in this Athens of America. When I first came to this country, after a few days I thought I would be able to write a book on the nation. But after 3 years' stay here, I find that I'm not able to write even a page. On the other hand, I find in traveling in various countries that beneath the surface differences that we find in dress, food, and little details of manners, man is man all the world over. The same wonderful human nature is everywhere represented. Yet there are certain characteristics, and in a few words, I would like to sum up all my experiences here. In this land of America, no question is asked about a man's peculiarities. If a man is a man, that is enough. And they take him into their hearts, and that is one thing I have never seen in any other country in the world. I came here to represent a philosophy of India, which is called the Vedanta philosophy. This philosophy is very, very ancient. It is the outcome of that mass of ancient Aryan literature known by the name of the Vedas. It is, as it were, the very flower of all the speculations and experiences and analysis embodied in that mass of literature, collected and culled through centuries. This Vedanta philosophy has certain peculiarities. In the first place, it is perfectly impersonal. It does not owe its origin to any person or prophet. It does not build itself around one man as a center. Yet it is nothing to say against philosophies which do build themselves around certain persons. In later days in India, other philosophies and systems arose built around certain persons, such as Buddhism and many of our present sects. They each have a certain leader to whom they owe allegiance, just as the Christians and Mohammedans have. But the Vedanta philosophy stands at the background of all these various sects, and there is no fight and no antagonism between the Vedanta and any other system in the world. One principle lays down in that the Vedanta claims is to be found in every religion of the world, that man is divine, that all this we see around us is the outcome of that consciousness of the divine. Everything that is strong and good and powerful in human nature is the outcome of that divinity. And though potential in many, there is no difference between man and man essentially, all being likewise divine. There is, as it were, an infinite ocean behind, and you and I are so many waves coming out of that infinite ocean, and each one of us is trying his best to manifest that infinite outside. So potentially each one of us has that infinite ocean of existence, knowledge, and bliss as our birthright, our real nature, and the difference between us is caused by the greater or less power to manifest that divine. Therefore the Vedanta lays down that each man should be treated not as what he manifests, but as what he stands for. Each human being stands for the divine, and therefore every teacher should be helpful, not by condemning man, but by helping him to call forth the divinity that is within him. It also teaches that all the vast mass of energy that we see displayed in society and every plane of action is really from inside out, and therefore what is called inspiration by other sects, the Vedanta begs the liberty to call the expiration of man. At the same time, it does not quarrel with the other sects. The Vedanta has no quarrel with those who do not understand this divinity of man. Consciously or unconsciously, every man is trying to unfold that divinity. Man is like an infinite spring coiled up in a small box, and that spring is trying to unfold itself. And all the social phenomena that we see the result of this trying to unfold, all the competitions and struggles and evils that we see around us are neither the cause of these unfoldments nor the effects. As one of our great philosophers said, in the case of the irrigation of a field, the tank is somewhere upon a higher level, and the water is trying to rush into the field and is barred by the gate. But as soon as the gate is opened, the water rushes in by its own nature, and there is dust and dirt in the way, the water rolls them over. But dust and dirt are neither the result nor the cause of this unfolding of the divine nature of man. They are coexistent circumstances, and therefore can be remedied. Now this idea claims the Vedanta is to be found in all religions, whether in India or outside of it. Only in some of them the idea is expressed through mythology and others through symbology. The Vedanta claims that there has not been one religious inspiration, one manifestation of the divine man, however great, but it has been the expression of that infinite oneness in human nature. And all that we call ethics and morality in doing good to others is also but the manifestation of this oneness. There are moments when every man feels that he is one with the universe, and he rushes forth to express it, whether he knows it or not. This expression of oneness is what we call love and sympathy, and it is the basis of all our ethics and morality. This is summed up in the Vedanta philosophy by the celebrated aphorism, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that. To every man this is taught. Thou art one with this universal being, and as such every soul that exists is your soul, and every body that exists is your body. And in hurting anyone you hurt yourself, in loving anyone you love yourself. As soon as a current of hatred is thrown outside whomsoever else it hurts, it also hurts yourself. And if love comes out from you, it is bound to come back to you. For I am the universe, this universe is my body, I am the infinite. Only I am not conscious of it now, but I am struggling to get this consciousness of the infinite, and perfection will be reached when full consciousness of this infinite comes. Another peculiar idea of the Vedanta is that we must allow this infinite variation in religious thought and not try to bring everybody to the same opinion, because the goal is the same. As the Vedantist says in his poetical language, as so many rivers, having their source in different mountains, roll down crooked or straight, and at last come into the ocean. So all these various creeds and religions, taking their start from different standpoints, and running through crooked or straight courses at last, come unto thee. As a manifestation of that, we find that this most ancient philosophy has, through its influence, directly inspired Buddhism, the first missionary religion of the world, and indirectly. It has also influenced Christianity, through the Alexandrians, the Gnostics, and the European philosophers of the Middle Ages. And later influencing German thought, it has produced almost a revolution in the regions of philosophy and psychology. Yet all this massive influence has been given to the world almost unperceived. As a gentle falling of the dew at night brings support to all vegetable life so slowly and imperceptibly, this divine philosophy has been spread through the world for the good of mankind. No march of armies has been used to preach this religion. In Buddhism, one of the most missionary religions of the world, we find inscriptions remaining of the title Great Emperor Ashoka, recording how missionaries were sent to Alexandria, to Antioch, to Persia, to China, and to various other countries of the then civilized world. 300 years before Christ, instructions were given them not to revile other religions. The basis of all religions is the same. Wherever they are, try to help them all you can, teach them all you can, but do not try to injure them. Thus in India there never was any religious persecution by the Hindus, but only that wonderful reverence, which they have all for the religions of the world. They sheltered a portion of the Hebrews when they were driven out of their own country, and the Malabar Jew remained as a result. They received at another time the remnant of the Persians, when they were almost annihilated, and they remain to this day as a part of us and loved by us as the modern Pharisees of Bombay. There were Christians who claimed to have come with St. Thomas, the disciple of Jesus Christ, and they were allowed to settle in India and hold their own opinions, and a colony of them is even now in existence in India. And this spirit of toleration has not died out. It will not and cannot die there. This is one of the great lessons that the Vedanta has to teach, knowing that, consciously or unconsciously, we are struggling to reach the same goal. Why should we be impatient? If one man is slower than another, we need not be impatient. We need not curse him or revile him. When our eyes are opened and the heart is purified, the work of the same divine influence, the unfolding of the same divinity in every human heart will become manifest, and then alone we shall be in a position to claim the brotherhood of man. When a man has reached the highest, when he sees neither man nor woman, neither sect nor creed nor color nor birth, nor any of these differentiations, but goes beyond and finds that divinity which is the real man behind every human being, then alone he has reached the universal brotherhood, and that man alone is a Vedantist. Such are some of the practical historical results of the Vedanta. End of lecture.